Warning, Highlander 3 is not as good as Highlander 1.
Good evening. Molly Maguire is on assignment. The bills are being added up after Jean Chrétien's recent trip to Latin America. A large part of the expense was due to the tight security provided the Prime Minister everywhere he went. In Brazil, undercover RCMP officers mingle inconspicuously with sun worshippers. The RCMP were looking for a well-built, well-tanned woman in her late 20s wearing a white baseball hat. Day after day, beach after beach, they reported seeing no one who fit the description. A spokesperson for the RCMP said despite the hardships, the officers were prepared to spend at least 2 more weeks searching for the suspect.
Premier Jacques Parizeau has come under fire for the role his wife appears to be taking in government affairs. The concern in the media is that she is having too much influence. Last week, Parizeau held a news conference to respond to the criticism.
And the way a government
engages in matters,
handles its own affairs, creates that climate of confidence, or doesn't.
Good boy, Jacques.
Well, that should settle it. No influence going on there.
A recent Auditor's General report has revealed that the federal government loses hundreds of thousands of dollars a year when retiring civil servants walk out the door with government property. This, combined with rumors of massive layoffs and Jean Chrétien's new habit of speaking in bizarre and troubling metaphors, has civil servants in a wild panic.
Everybody wants to go to heaven, but it's difficult to accept to die.
Some civil servants seem to be taking Chrétien's words to heart. Others feel they have no choice but to accept Ottawa's last chance early retirement offer. No one gets a cent unless they leave all government property behind.
There is another tell-all book on the stands. This one is by the heirs to the $3 billion McCain frozen food empire, who are in a legal battle over which of them will control it. Harrison and Wallace McCain have been in court since 1993, and the case is somewhat confusing. But now, in an effort to clarify both sides in the dispute, the brothers have released a tell-all book on cassette. Here is an excerpt.
It's mine! It's mine! It's mine! No, it's mine! It's mine! You let go! No, you let go! No, you let go! Let go! Dad! Dad! Let go!
The dispute apparently goes back many, many years.
This is CBC News World.
CBC News World brings you the O.J. Simpson trial from a Canadian point of view. The O.J. Simpson trial on CBC News World.
Okay.
Okay.
Welcome back to News World.
Yeah, we were just having some fun here with the crew. This is our 19 of today's ongoing back-to-back gavel-to-gavel coverage of the event of the century.
We are, of course, talking about the O.J. Simpson trial.
Well, no, we're talking about the Canadian perspective of the O.J. Simpson trial.
Of course, O.J. is not a Canadian.
No.
Good hockey player, though, eh?
No, football.
Oh, right, neck injuries, go nuts.
Yeah.
Nicole Simpson's a Canadian, though, right?
No.
Used to be.
No, but O.J. himself did visit Toronto in 1978, so there.
And there is Canadian perspective.
Yeah.
Right there. Do you have another one?
Yeah, okay, well, you know, Nicole had type B blood under her nails, and O.J.'s blood, of course, is not type B. But we here at News World have found out that over 2 million Canadians do have type B, so hopefully, now for our sake, a Canadian was involved with the murder in some way.
That'd be great.
Yeah, or not.
Right. Well, we'll be right back with more Canadian coverage of the O.J. trial.
Yeah, okay.
Those were good, that fact about the blood.
This is CBC News World.
Hey, do you know that along with your regular 649 card, you can play your DNA?
My DNA?
Yes, your DNA.
I played my DNA, and look what I won!
Lotto 649. Everybody's got a dream.
Everybody's got a gene! Bum, bum!
Everybody's got a gene.
Well, here she is, and talk about being sexually visible. Whoa! Here's Babe Bennett.
You know what roasts my corn? Every day, guys old enough to be a father go waltzing Matilda with gals young enough to be a baby sister, and nobody says boo. Then when a curly-haired lunkhead like Prince Charles turns his back on a bulimic bimbo like Diana for the affections of an older horsey gal like Camilla, why, out come the claws, and she's shredded up faster than a head of cabbage on Oktoberfest. And it's a bunch of crazy gals who are doing the cutting, too. Why, you gals can't mean that. You must be goofing around. Oh, right. So she wasn't born yesterday, and she forgets to drink her 8 glasses of water a day. So shoot her. So she's got funny hair. Well, she's English, ain't she? I rest my case. I like her. I think she's great. Why, she's got kahunas. Look at her go. Why, look at the deal she had with her husband during all this hoopla. Well, I bet they were buddies. I bet she had her own room. Her own room. Why, I bet some of you married gals like the ring of that, huh? Turns out, Prince Charles has the family jewels to go for somebody, not because she's a bunny rabbit that's going to make him forget about death and decay, but because he's in love with her. Why, he's no chump. He knows what side his bed is butted on, and there's a lot more guys out there like that, too. But with nicer ears, you know, closer to the head. You gals who don't like Camilla feel like you're looking in a magic mirror and it's giving you the jumps. Well, listen up. There's a zillion fat old people out there having sex right now that would light up a city. And they ain't sweating about abs of steel either. Relax, sister. The day is coming when gals with a bit of a wrinkly neck and a nice mustache are going to be seen like regular human beings, just living their lives, having lovers and robbing banks just like fellas always did, without anyone batting a peeper. Yes, sirree. The day is coming. La, 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 la.
The political party in Italy, once headed by dictator Benito Mussolini, has renamed itself. It is now called the Alliance Nazionale, or National Alliance. The new party also has some new campaign slogans, including, "Vote for us, we used to be friends with Hitler," "Let's put the NEAT back in Benito," and the Alliance Nazionale, we're Mussolini-alicious.
Jean Chrétien has returned from Latin America with a new tan and a reported $2 billion worth of new business contracts signed, sealed, and delivered. Chrétien has even received kudos from his old foe, Brian Mulroney. Mulroney has said that the deals, which say that Canadian business leaders have agreed to get together with foreign companies and hopefully agree that they could get together and agree in principle on doing some business together sometime in the future, is proof that free trade was more than likely the path to follow.
In entertainment news this week, Alfred Hitchcock's 1963 masterpiece, The Birds, has been re-released to theaters. The film was a box office success in its day, but Hitchcock regretted having to make certain cuts in order to get the film released. The version set to open this Friday includes this never-before-seen footage.
A cab company in Gainesville, Florida, is under fire for implementing an unofficial discrimination policy. The manager of the cab company has told drivers not to pick up any young black men after dark because too many white and Asian criminals are being left stranded on city streets.
Tax tips. Number 1, your dependents cannot be imaginary. Number 2, do not invent T4 slips. The government can usually tell. Number 3, always use a pen when filing your tax return. Number 4, if you play an instrument, it does not mean you automatically get money back. Tax tips. So we're gonna have a tax revolt, are we? We're gonna rise up, we're gonna say no more taxes. We're gonna tell Paul Martin that the country has had enough. This time, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We are saying no. No way. No, we're not. Not in this country. Look at the GST. The GST. Not one car was torched. Not one window was broken. And nobody went to jail. And look at the students. The students, their tuition is going to double. Double. Times 2. They are screwed. And what happens? 10% take to the streets while 90% stayed indoors. They didn't want to miss any classes. Let's face it, the closest we will ever come to a revolution in this country is if we actually ever win the Stanley Cup ever again. Who will lead this great tax revolt? Who will be Canada's Che Guevara? Nobody. That's who, and Paul Martin knows it. And he can raise taxes, he can double tuition, he could go out and shoot Bambi's mom. And Canadians, well, we'll just go about our business and taking a page from Bambi's book. If we can't say anything nice about the budget, we won't say anything at all.
An Evansville, Indiana elementary school was assigned the number 666 by the automated computer system. Following a meeting with the boy, his parents, and the school board, during which 3 board members burst into flames, the school principal agreed to give the boy a new number and whatever else he wanted.
Well, if you're planning to fly Air Canada in the near future, you had better hope that Air Canada Chief Hollis Harris is not on board, because if he is, you mightn't be. Harris, on his way to the Super Bowl, insisted on boarding Flight 88 from Montreal to Fort Lauderdale last week, bumping paying customers in the process. For his part, one of the bumped customers was quoted as saying, "This is exactly the reason why Air Canada should be privatized immediately. This would never be allowed to happen in the private sector." When informed that Air Canada has indeed been privatized, the man said, well, obviously, if they tried to pull this in the public sector, heads would roll.
Queen Elizabeth has decided to take the advice of her good friend, the artist formerly known as Prince, and has changed her name to a symbol. Since no one can pronounce the symbol, Buckingham Palace officials are asking the media to use the term the monarch formerly known as the Queen.
Well, she's flat as the prairies and twice as wide. Here's this hour's prairie correspondent, Connie.
As a Canadian, when I'm not scarfing back donuts or swilling down coffee in an attempt to quell the rising fear and anxiety that we all feel about the coming of the end of the millennium, I'm usually pretty busy laughing up my smug, self-satisfied Canadian sleeve at the antics of those Yanks, eh? How about Nudie and his nut bars and their contract on America? Oh, they're all down there now crowing about a return to Reaganomics, to the small government ideas of Ronnie Reagan. Hey, dress me up in a Mountie suit, eh? Make me act like an idiot on CBS's Due South, eh? But wasn't it Ronnie Reagan's small government that put America in debt to the tune of $2 trillion? What a bunch of developmentally delayed, intellectually challenged, money-mad morons those Yanks are, eh? We're lucky, eh, to be up here in Canada with a Liberal government who are as brave as beavers, as courageous as caribou, eh, who have taken a strong, uncompromising Liberal stand right on the side of big business. Hey, Paul Martin seems to have taken a stand up big business because only his feet were visible there last week when he reassured the big buck people that they'd be hog wild with rapture when they heard his hymn to the rich budget. I mean, whip me with wet Wheatie and run me buck naked through the grommet section of Canadian Tire till my short-term memory returns, eh? But see, when did the Liberals take out a contract on Canada?
To Ottawa now, where we are joined by three rookie members of Parliament. From the Bloc Québécois, Monsieur Leblanc. From the Reform Party, Mrs. David G. Willison. And from the Liberal Party, Mr. Calvin Norris. Good evening to you all. Today was the first day back in Parliament after the Christmas break. What's the buzz?
Well, Frank, when my colleagues were in caucus, they were talking about taxes. Will there be taxes? Would there be taxes? Should there be taxes?
So what's the plan?
Well, they haven't told me. I'm a backbencher, so when the big decision was made, I, of course, was sitting on a bench way in the back.
Mrs. David Willison, what is on the Reform's agenda?
Well, evil is everywhere, Frank. In Muslim countries, if you steal a loaf of bread, they chop off your hands. But try teaching a child not to steal over here. Everything's topsy-turvy. Excuse the language.
Monsieur Leblanc, what issue is first up for the Bloc Québécois?
I am behind Parizeau 100%. I believe in that leader. I do what I am told.
But Mr. Parizeau is not your leader. He's the leader of the provincial Parti Québécois.
Well, Frank, that is true. Oh, Frank, I gotta be honest, I'm not even French. I'm actually from Hamilton. I just ran for the Bloc because I knew if I did, I'd get elected in Quebec.
In reality, Frank, the Reform Party is the official opposition. We are against pretty well everything. Have I mentioned that evil is everywhere?
I'll take this one there, Frank. Has anyone ever told you you're a handsome, handsome woman?
Oh, stop!
No, she is, isn't she?
She is. I wouldn't mind seeing her moccasins parked under my bed.
Oh, yeah, you know, an MP's life is all about sacrifice. Do you like to go out after work and get drunk and pass out and forget stuff?
Look, you!
She is a dish.
Ah! Frank, these men govern the country according to lust. In the Reform Party, there are no men, no women. There's only devoted advocates of the people.
You smell so nice.
She's like an Alberta rose, Frank.
Well, all right, maybe just one drink.
And look your hair down. Maybe a little blush.
Oh!
It's time to accent our similarities, Frank, not our differences. And they are?
Do you know how hard a backbench is, Frank?
It's hard. We should start a support group.
Well, we could go have a drink and talk about it anyway.
All right, maybe just a fruit juice.
Thank you all very much for this.
We need money. We need money. We're looking at every possibilities. We need money.
We need money.
Many billions. We need money. I'm telling you that the goals will be met. We need money. Many billion. We need money.
Time for some in-depth analysis of recent world events. Here is Sandy Campbell with this week's edition of The Campbell File.
Hi, I'm Sandy Campbell, and this is The Campbell File. I'm on my second read of O.J. Simpson's book. What a page-turner. I'm of two minds on that one, though. First, I think he did it. Then I think, no, he had help. I'll tell you what's crazy. More than 60% of drivers in Britain say they get road rage. I'm a backseat driver myself. It's harder to reach the pedals, but I think it's safer. Cher has her own fashion catalog out. Came to the house the other day. Hubby thought it was a hardware catalog from Canadian Tire. In fact, he ordered a bra to fix the lawnmower with. More wolf urine facts. We know so little about wolf urine, don't we? Did you know that in Kuwait they put wolf urine on the road to keep camels away? Well, apparently it works for tourists, too. That wingnut in Russia, Vladimir Zhirinovsky, he says that there'd be no more war if only we women would have sex with men whenever we're told. You're making me want ya! My sister, Cindy. Cindy used to be married to a guy who said things like that, and then she had him buried in the most beautiful blue suit I've ever seen. Hubby thought she should have waited till he died, though. So did I. He just just dug himself out again. Did you know that you can actually get hit on the head and develop something called foreign accent syndrome? By Jove, I think I've got it. Hi, Daddy Camel.
A research team at the University of Guelph has turned its attention to the hibernation habits of black bears. Researchers are particularly interested in how the animal can sleep for 6 months without expelling bodily wastes. In the event that researchers cannot find any hibernating black bears, they feel certain that they can achieve comparable survey results with any member of Bachman-Turner Overdrive.
Motivational speaker Anthony Robbins has been hired by the Alberta government. The author of Unlimited Power and Awaken the Giant Within will be paid $28,000 to inspire young offenders. The program has been a tremendous success in America, where young offenders are committing crimes with improved self-esteem and greater confidence.
The new tell-all book by O.J. Simpson, written in prison, is breaking sales records. It is called I Want to Tell You. This is not to be confused with the Jeffrey Dahmer book, I Want to Eat You.
Well, that's the way we saw the world this week. For all of us here at This Hour Has 22 Minutes, I'm J.B. Dixon, sending out a big hello to Grace Elizabeth.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, J.B. This just arrived for Frank. Frank?
Finally, the CSIS file on Preston Manning. Look.
Wow!
I knew it. Good night.
Good night.